Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen College Campus Cooking. We are here on the beautiful campus of Delaware Valley University with Chef Michael Solomonov of Cook and Solo Restaurant Group. Wonderful to have you here, Chef.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And Kyra, a student here at Del Val. Wonderful to have you too.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's all about learning by doing here. And that's really the cornerstone of a Del Val education and what we'll be doing today. And you have lots of interesting sort of Middle Eastern recipes you're going to show Kyra how to cook today.
I do, yeah. The older I get, the more I want to simplify and simplify. Yeah. And I feel like especially when you're at school, you want to make sure that things are nutritious, they're fast. On campus, actually, there's incredible stuff that you're growing already.
Great.
Very cool. Well, let's get started, yeah?
Yeah, let's get started.
Right.
What's first, Chef?
So you're going to do all the cooking.
Okay.
I'm going to go take a nap.
She's
You're
ready.
going to cook everything,
I'm ready,
all right?
I'm ready.
All right, so what we're going to do is really put together 3 nutritious, delicious things that are very simple. You're going to start by taking 4 potatoes, and you're going to put them in this pot.
Put them
all
in
right?
the pot, okay.
Now we're going to make it's almost a Lebanese style potato salad, similar to like a German potato salad.
Okay.
A lot of olive oil, chilies, lemon, very, very simple.
Great flavors.
Exactly. Now we're going to let those.
You got the first part down good.
Good job. All right, we're done. Okay,
Yeah.
You've graduated. Okay, so what we're also going to start to do right now is heat up this pot, and we're going to toast some pilaf. Now, rice pilaf is my favorite thing to make, and I think that when you pair it with things like kale, you really bump up the nutritional value, all right? And we want you to be healthy, right? You've got a lot of work to do, right? Okay.
She's also a lacrosse player at the school too.
Yes,
so
I
she's
am.
busy
Energy,
and
right?
active.
All right, so Chef, you're going to take some of this olive oil, and you're going to line the bottom of this pot, all right? And then you're going to take this jasmine rice, which has been soaked and rinsed, okay? So we're getting all the
Is that
unnecessary
an
starch
overnight
out.
process, Chef?
You can do it overnight, or you can just do it under a colander.
Okay.
All right, you're going to dump that in there. Grab this wooden spoon and give it a gentle mix right here. Now we don't want it to. You don't want to break up the grains because you don't want to release all the starch. You don't want it to be creamy. You want it to be very fluffy. Now this method is fantastic because not only do you develop flavor by toasting, but what you're doing is the oil is coating the grains, which means that you end up with a nice fluffy pilaf at the end. Now we're going to add some salt to this.
Great.
And then separately, what we're going to do is start our Israeli couscous. Okay?
Excellent.
Which is another, Israeli couscous. There's many different sort of products that are made like this, which is essentially a toasted pasta.
Yeah,
that's
reminds me of a
extruded.
pasta,
Exactly.
orzo, or
Right, exactly. You see it a lot in southern Italian cooking.
Yes.
Because the Moors obviously brought from North Africa this pasta. Palestinians make a great version of this. Israeli couscous was really made to imitate rice, sort of commercially, because there were so many different communities that really relied on rice. All right, so but what we do, we pre-toasted this as well. You can see it's really, really dark.
Yeah,
How's
it is
that
really
looking?
dark.
Nice?
Yeah, it's
Smell
really
it. So fragrant, right? Now that's just
Yeah.
olive oil, salt, and rice. Now we're going to season it with a little bit of black pepper.
now the toasting of the couscous imparts probably a nutty flavor to it as well.
Exactly. So it imparts a nutty flavor, and then what it also does is, again, it keeps the grains from getting like too gummy.
Yes.
We don't want that.
You're
Because this
speaking
is
about
toasted.
immigrant groups bringing different products over to this country.
Yeah.
It kind of marks on the history of the school, a fascinating history of this school.
Unbelievable, which I didn't even know about until we got here, and I'm like, why did nobody tell me about
125
about this?
years the school has been in existence. Originally the National Farm School as a way to train immigrants to this country
Yeah.
in farming. Kind of
Unbelievable.
what they knew in the old world.
In the old world, and also to provide opportunity to when there was like tremendous sort of austerity here.
Yes.
To really create opportunity. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
it is fascinating.
I also got here in 45 minutes from Philadelphia, which I didn't realize was so close.
Well, that's really great for students too. So I know there's a train station on campus and a SEPTA station on campus. So on the weekends, if kids just want to go into the city for a little bit and take
maybe
a break,
eat some like nice restaurants in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right?
Billy,
All right.
maybe Zahav.
Maybe Zahav.
I'm Ben Russellowski, and I have the pleasure and privilege of serving Del Val as its president. Del Val is a very unique institution which was founded on the principle of experiential learning, and it is embedded throughout our curriculum and in our signature program, Experience 360, or as we call it, E360, which gives students the opportunity while they're here at Del Val to participate in internships, career exploration experiences, student research, leadership development opportunities, and really allows them to develop a resume that differentiates them from their peers so that when they head out into that first destination post-graduation, they are ready for the career trajectory that lies ahead of them.
Our class size is anywhere from 8 to 13 students, so we really get to know our students and what their interests are. We want to make sure to try to help them get there. So we'll help them, decide what are the classes that they'll need and what other kind of work experiences that they can get so that when they graduate, they can just start their careers.
All right, so Chef, you're going to take this roasted garlic and we're going to, using the spoon, dump it in there. Now,
so that's just sliced up roasted garlic?
Sliced up roasted garlic, really, really simple. Now, I like to cook with one pot, right? I've got children, I don't have time to do a ton of dishes, and I want things to be really, really simple, and I want to use this pot to develop all the flavor. All right, so we've got garlic, we've chopped up kale.
Chopped kale.
Throw it in.
I love how you're using fresh vegetables. Even the fresh vegetables that are here on our set are from the greenhouses that are here on campus.
And actually, that's the big rule. This is the big takeaway. Chef, if you can take away one thing, you're essentially using ingredients that you have to make things. So this method, this technique of peel-offing, you can add carrots to this, you can add fresh carrot juice, you can add tomato juice to this. As long as you get the toasting of the rice down, you're good.
You can clean out your cupboard.
Exactly. We can take a little bit of our chicken stock over here.
Great.
We're going to add it to cover. Now, normally, everyone has the rules about sort of measurement with rice.
Take that, Chef.
Thank you so much. Now, because it's rinsed and because it's been soaked, the rice is actually partially hydrated. So instead of doing like 2 to 1, this is closer to 1.5.
Okay.
So some more chicken stock over here. And you don't have to use chicken stock. I like to use it. You can use it veg stock if you want.
So if you're vegetarian, you can just substitute for
Veg
vegetarian.
stock, you can actually just use straight carrot juice, and you can even use water. It doesn't matter. My grandmother made the best rice ever, and she definitely wasn't making chicken stock, right? All right, now, Chef, what's very important now that we've got our liquid in here is we want to kind of release the rice that's sort of stuck. We want to deglaze a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to spend a little time, and remember, be gentle because I don't want to release too much starch. We don't want it to be creamy, all right? So just sort of clean the sides with the stock. Let's add a little bit.
So now, Kyra, in your major, I know you're a junior at the school now, right?
Yes.
So after 3 years, and as we know, experiential learning is really the hallmark of a Del Val education. You've been probably out of the classroom a lot and learning by doing,
Yes,
right?
I have, yes.
So what kind of experiences have you had?
So right now I'm in a baking class, so I'm very hands-on with baking each class. So every Monday in my lab, we learn a new method of baking and we use it and see how it makes the food better, and we learn the science behind it, and we get to taste it as well, so it's really cool.
Excellent. So very, very hands-on. That's pretty impressive, Chef, isn't it?
Very, I mean, this reminds me of the boarding school I went to in Israel that was on a farm as well. Pulling up here, I was like, what university?
Right.
Where's the education happening? But actually being in the field, literally and figuratively, I think is the way that you
Absolutely. And then you graduate essentially with a resume and with real usable skills, and a real return on your investment in college.
We
so
talked
that's very
about
important.
this earlier. We talked about this off camera, the idea that you could learn, you could work and really put yourself out there, I think is super important. All right, so Chef, you're gonna come over here. Now we're doing the same sort of thing with this. We've added some chicken broth, which you don't have to do. You can use water if you want. We've added some sauteed onions and carrots and garlic, and we're actually going to stir this the way that you would almost risotto.
Okay.
Which is to let the broth or the liquid evaporate,
Slow
but
and
also
low.
steam, exactly, and continue to stir. This rice, just move your arm. I don't want to, we're going to put this down here. Now we just want this covered, and we want a good amount of pressure, so we're actually just going to throw this down. What I just want to make sure is that this is sealed really nicely. And if you need to put a weight on there, like a television, forget about fancy equipment.
And most college apartments don't have fancy equipment.
Most don't, and again, to go back to the grandmother thing, my grandmother had 2 burners and a toaster, and that was the way that she sort of cooked. And she would run circles around me, all right? So the couscous right now is cooking, it is steaming, and also the stock is evaporating, so it's getting really concentrated. Let's throw in a little bit
and
of
developing
paprika.
a rich flavor
on
top of
it.
So what are you adding now, Chef?
I'm going to add some paprika just because I really like it. Now paprika, is a great spice because A, it's dried pepper, so it's, more enrichment of flavor. And it's also got smoky and sweet depending on what you like. So having smoked paprika, hot smoked paprika, sweet smoked paprika is the biggest hack that you could have.
So it's great to keep in your campus apartment in your cupboard.
It's a non-perishable. It can just sit there. You can add it to baked potatoes. You can add it to mac and cheese. You can add it to basically anything. Well, think about tomato paste. We add tomato paste to everything.
Yeah.
But when you actually got, and tomato paste is just evaporated tomatoes, which is great, but paprika is essentially the same thing dried.
Yes.
Right? So it actually adds viscosity and richness to these dishes.
College campus cooking is a great concept. It shows how we can teach students to use what they have available in their kitchen to make a healthy, nutritious meal.
What makes Del Val unique is that we're small, and so as professors, we really get to know our students and what their interests are. We want to help them get there so that when they graduate, they can just start their career.
Noticed I've been adding things in layers, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to just throw a bunch of salt in or throw a bunch of paprika in. I want to do it in layers to develop flavor, all right? So you're going to keep stirring. We're going to add a touch more stock. Our rice should be ready. Our potatoes are done.
Great.
All right.
And should they be fork tender?
Yeah, so I like to test with a fork. And also, if you've noticed, we cook them in their jackets.
Yeah.
Why? Because we don't want them to get waterlogged. And because the flavor of potatoes often comes from the skin. And there's actually nutritional value in the skin as well.
Okay. Very
Plus,
good.
I don't like peeling potatoes. It's so
time-consuming.
messy. It sucks, right? Okay, so we're going to keep steaming. Let's take a look at our rice. Just watch out. Here. Use a nice towel. Almost there.
Great. Could you also bake the potatoes? Or
You
would
could
prefer-
absolutely bake
Okay.
the potatoes. I think that would be totally fine. That
Okay.
takes a little bit longer, but that's really good. I'm going to take over here and stir. And what you're going to do is take our potatoes, which are right here, and you're going to actually start mashing them up. These are pickled chilies. These are called shifta peppers, found all over the Middle East. You can use pepperoncinis. These are spicy and acidic, but are just like, so easy, right?
Yeah.
And again, these just sit on a jar and not go bad. So they're
Are
really,
they
really
are they
good.
hot? They have any heat to them?
Yeah.
Little heat to
Oh,
them?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
glad I didn't go right in there and grab
Well,
one.
you can, it's not such a bad thing. I do it. All right, so listen, cilantro, you don't have to use cilantro. I love cilantro, but parsley would work really, really well.
How do you feel about cilantro?
I like it. I think it adds a lot to the dish. So.
Excellent.
So, very simple, right? Now,
Excellent.
You could probably add a little bit of lemon juice to it as well. I like a lot of lemon. Give it a taste.
What do you think, Kyra?
It's good?
It's good, yeah.
We're going to add some lemon to it, right?
Yes.
Does it need salt
Little
or anything,
acid?
or no?
No, I definitely need some lemon though. Some acidity
Some
in
lemon.
there.
Lemon it is.
Yeah.
Now what we're going to do is mix this up a little bit more, and you can, so I'm just sort of adding olive oil to it as well. It's almost like a dip, right?
Adds like a little buttery texture to it
Beautiful.
now, too.
And then what you can do is actually plate it really nicely in one of those bowls, and we'll finish it right before we eat it with fresh lemon on top.
Okay.
All right?
Beautiful. Now, in your major, the nutritious qualities about this dish. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're definitely getting our carbs in and veggies. So I think it's very
Carbs
good.
and
Yeah.
vegetables, yeah. And after a day, or how many days a week do you practice for lacrosse in
I
season?
practice about 6 days a week for
Oh
2
my
hours.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
So you're hungry and you need to keep
Yeah.
your body fueled, well fed. So
Yeah.
something like this would be something that you could easily
Oh,
prepare
yeah. It would be so easy to do this, after a game, a late practice.
for your teammates.
Yeah.
They would all love you.
No. We would. Team dinners. I'm the chef.
Team dinners.
Yeah.
This is a great team dinner recipe,
Yeah.
chef.
Great, we're gonna take these palmy tomatoes. Now these are awesome. I would highly recommend these tomatoes here. Follow me. So this has been cut open, so you're just gonna pour a little bit in there.
So it's sort of like a tomato puree,
It's
chef?
a tomato puree, but I like it because there's no additional citric acid to it as well. All right, that's great. And we're just enriching this couscous. Now let's give it a stir. We have some sauteed mushrooms here. Again, you don't have to use mushrooms. I love mushrooms, but really good, especially in Pennsylvania. Everybody wants to get fancy mushrooms. Pennsylvania button mushrooms, which are inexpensive, delicious, and nutritious, and also local, are fantastic.
Yeah.
So we just throw those in there. We're gonna add a little bit of chopped herb.
What kind of herb are we adding, chef?
I'm gonna add some parsley to it, but you can add like whatever you want. Honestly, whatever you want. Oregano would be very, very good in this as well. Jim, this seems almost like Italian or American Italian,
Yes.
right? Sort of like fancy SpaghettiOs, right?
A little bit better than fancy SpaghettiOs.
I don't know. SpaghettiOs are really good.
Listen,
right?
when I was in college, I was eating SpaghettiOs. This really is much different than what I was eating in college.
Exactly. So we're gonna just add some more stock. We're gonna let this go.
Beautiful.
And boil really, really hard.
So, so right now,
I'm
you
gonna actually move just
added
for a
more
second.
stock. It's what is the consistency you're seeking in this?
What I want it to be is kind of like pasta meets risotto meets rice. It can be stewy.
Okay.
You can actually add protein to it. You can add meatballs if you want, not to overdo the SpaghettiOs kick here, but you can add meatballs to it. You can add ground meat, ground lamb. You can add flaked salmon to it.
Okay.
Really good. Anything you want, okay? Really, really
Excellent.
good. Also, if you wanted to, for like a super sort of high energy breakfast, you could crack eggs into it.
Oh, that would be excellent.
yeah.
Awesome, right? All right, let's take a look at our rice here.
In
Just
fact,
looking
they
really
sell
good.
lamb and beef from the farm here. Actually, that you
Really?
have a whole livestock animal program. There's animal science,
Oh
but
my
also
gosh.
animal program. In fact, the beef that is served in the dining hall, I just learned this today, which is fascinating, is actually grown here on the campus.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And you learn. Students learn.
Unbelievable. And also
Michael, if
eating
you'd like
meat
to go
that's
back
super-
and milk the cows, we could do that.
I
a
sucked at
possibility.
milking cows. I was very good at like picking all their teeth. I wasn't good at
Oh,
actually
okay.
doing that. Now I would be very good.
We have over 70 clubs and organizations here on campus, more than 24 Division III athletic teams. There is plenty of opportunity to be involved. Our students get leadership experience through those activities, and as part of our E360 program, we have over 400 student jobs on campus that students can pursue as part of their program.
So when students first start at Del Val, their first lab, their first class, their first semester is hands-on immediately. So we're getting them in the fields every day, the first week of classes. So they're hands-on from the very beginning.
Smells good.
So good, right? And the kale
yeah.
steams.
Oh
and it's
my
really
goodness,
light
it's
and fluffy.
wonderful.
Now, we're gonna just keep this covered for another minute, and
Okay.
then we're gonna fluff it. But what you do in your dorm when you make this is you're gonna let it sit covered for 30 minutes and just rest and rest and rest and let the starch relax. Now we can add to this some more herbs if we want right now.
Just for added flavor.
Added flavor, but look at all that kale, that
Beautiful.
And
really
added
nutritious-
nutrients too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Added nutrients,
Let's add a
thank
little
you.
bit more salt. Let's add a little bit of pepper. Very, very
Thank you.
important. We're going to take this off. We're going to watch out for steam. And instead of just shoveling it out, you're going to fluff it.
Sort of
like this.
gently fluff it.
Now you can see the grains are coated with the olive oil. And all
Yes.
that beautiful juice from the kale, which is actually steamed the rice, is now part of the dish.
Beautiful aroma
You know, this
too.
with fresh lemon would not be the worst thing in the world. Chef, give it a taste. How's
Yeah.
that? Good?
Great.
No, it's good. Yeah.
I love it how kale is pretty much ubiquitous now,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Everyone is eating kale.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Objectively speaking, this is fantastic. This is so,
No,
so
it
good.
is. It is.
All
yeah.
right, and the
The
kale is
flavor in the rice because it's sat in it.
exactly. And
Very
all
nice.
we did was take raw kale and chop it and use all of the good stuff in there to flavor the rice. That is. All right, so spoon this in very, very gently. We'll blast it with some lemon.
Beautiful. This is round 2 of your team dinner.
No, yeah. They're
lacrosse.
gonna be happy with me.
They're going to be very happy with you.
How to make friends.
No, yeah. Just
Right.
cook for them. Just cook for
All right,
them.
let's get some of these kale pieces right on top. Okay.
Beautiful.
All right, we'll do another little blast of lemon right here.
Beautifully
Give me a
done.
second. All right, you want to blast it?
Yeah.
Right on top? Okay. Great, and then we're gonna actually just like a little piece of butter. Chef, you're gonna stir this in. Now you don't have to do butter, and we're gonna stir it. And again, we can add some more greens. You can add whatever seasoning you want. If you were to crack some eggs in here right now, this would be a
Yeah,
really
I
good
would
time
love
for
that.
it. All right, let's just give it a
Almost like a version of an eggs in purgatory.
exactly. The liquid is evaporated. The couscous is really tender. I like it slightly al dente. And you've got the mushrooms, you've got the carrot, you've got all the good stuff. The paprika is smoky.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
All right, we threw a little bit of butter in there. It's evaporated.
Adds a
We're-
silky finish.
Exactly. Now we can add some Parmesan cheese to it if you want. You can add more mushrooms. You can add more herbs. But I think we're ready to go. Let's plate it. Let's just bring it right. Let's stick it right on top of this.
Here we go.
Thank
Here
you.
Kyra.
Okay. It's all you, chef. Now it's cool. It's like stewy a little bit, it's a little loose.
Oh, it looks beautiful. I love the rich color.
If you wanted to add like another quart of broth on top of this would be a soup, right?
Yes,
This would be
soup or a stew.
Amazing soup or stew.
I love your suggestion about cracking an egg
Oh
in there.
my gosh, the
I love
best,
that for
the best
brunch
breakfast, yeah.
or for a nice hearty dinner.
Totally.
Very good.
Yeah.
So are we ready to taste,
I think we're ready.
everyone?
Let's go.
What do you
Let's
think, Kyra?
just gonna do
I think I'm
a
gonna start
little
here and work our way out.
With the potato salad?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Very good. I'll try some of that too. Those peppers sounded intriguing.
Yeah.
I like that it's chilled.
Oh yeah.
You could serve this
Oh,
room
yeah.
temperature or chilled or even warm.
Yeah, you could save it for later too.
The lemon adds a lot to the flavor there.
And this makes it a really nice accoutrement for chicken or for fish or for beef.
Next, the pilaf with kale.
It's hard to beat a good pot of rice, you know?
No, that's delicious.
Kale.
The lemon on
Beautiful.
top.
Very
Delicious.
healthy dish too. Really
Yeah.
healthy dish. This is my favorite so far. Because as far as the eye appeal of this, it's gorgeous.
It's homey, right? It's like nostalgic as well. And again, these were all made with one pot.
There's
So
really
really simple.
couscous. The fact that you toasted the couscous before makes it so nutty and so heartwarming. I hope that you'll come back and cook with us again
Anytime,
and
I would love
teach
to be here.
some more students some of your techniques and tips.
Anytime, I would love it. You know, you make it easy.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure cooking with you.
It's
Thank you
fabulous
for
that
being
we're,
here.
we're keeping with the tenet of the school, learning by doing here at Delaware Valley University. It's a great concept and one that will stay with you for a long time. So it's been a terrific day here at the Chef's Kitchen. I thank you both very much.
College campus cooking is a great idea. It is practical, it is delicious, and it makes a lot of sense for kids in school that just want to make great food using minimal ingredients, and I'm coming back and doing this again.
I had a great experience here working side by side with Chef, learning great tips and techniques in the kitchen, and I would love to do it again.
I had no idea about how cool Delaware Valley University was. I had no idea the origin and the history and the fact that it took me almost no time to get here, and I'm coming back with my kids. We're gonna milk some cows, we're gonna work the fields, and we're gonna be part of this beautiful history.